Sauce. Internet. We're going to bait and switch.
Oh, are we on the internet?
Yes, when I say we're going online, I refer to as being on the internet.
Oh, I didn't know that was the same thing.
Yeah. Hop out the chat.
Pop it out.
Hop out the chat.
Pop out the chat. Pop it out. Something.
While your feet are thumping
Thumping.
Yeah.
and the gym is pumping.
Is one of them bumping? Is the first one bumping?
Yes. Bumping.
Bumping. So they don't say pumping rhymes with pumping.
Get your booty on.
I don't know.
Uh,
Make my
Make
day.
my
Make
day.
my day.
Make my day.
Oh, tweet.
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 Retweeted. I'm on it.
Tweet.
Welcome,
Tweedly
everyone,
deedly.
to what is going to be the most chill live stream we've done in quite a while.
Yeah. Settle in for
The Quiet
the
Storm.
soldier. Where we just do a little car talk about the soldier.
Car talk is not laid back.
Oh,
Car talk is annoying as shit.
fine.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe we could do Diane Reed.
Welcome to the Fiends podcast.
talking about the soldier.
So, was Jeffrey Jones in any BMFcast movies? I didn't go far enough down the list to know he was in this when I did the research.
Yes, prison.
I will look.
What? Huh? That's not a BMFcast
Yeah.
movie.
Oh.
Fortress. Featuring the Intestinator. Which was also Jeffrey Jones's nickname.
I don't know if he ever actually went to prison. But
I don't think he did because he was on Deadwood during all that.
oh.
And everyone was like, you shouldn't be on this.
You shouldn't be on this.
Yeah, that guy. That's what I thought he was.
He's in Howard the Duck, but we have not watched Howard the Duck for the show.
No, we have not.
You shouldn't be on this.
Nope.
Nothing?
He is not a BMFcast alum
Cool.
until now.
Welcome
He was
to the
in
show.
Who's Your Caddy?
Well, you know, next week we're going to be mining the depths of Netflix where we watch things like Beetlejuice.
Mining the depths of Netflix. Beetlejuice.
That was Cinescrotes. What do they call their mantra?
Mm-hmm.
Mantra.
But really, like,
It's like manga.
if you change your mission, change your fucking mission statement. It's
Yeah.
not that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cinescript was us, by the way.
I know.
You were just protecting the names of the not so innocent.
No.
Oh.
I just don't want to send anyone even inadvertent traffic.
Yeah, you should Google Cinescrote. It's a real good episode.
It's the best episode.
It's pretty
We
good.
really should have just quit.
God,
Yeah.
how long ago was it? Was that like 2010?
It was a long time ago.
It was our second or third year, maybe.
I want to say maybe that was their second
2011, maybe?
April Fool's thing.
It was pre-Chuck, I know
What was
that.
our
I
first
was not
April
here for
Fool's
that.
thing?
I don't think we did
I don't think we
anything.
acknowledged it. Like we just went on with life because we just started. I mean, so doing a jokey episode would have been stupid.
Well, 2009.
I'm saying,
we
but
couldn't
we
even
started
get
in like
anything out.
March. You know, what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, well, 2009 was also like we'd have 4 episodes in the can before we'd finally put one out. And then we'd put like 3 out in one weekend. And yeah, those were weird days.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, that editing thing was not really.
Oh, yeah.
Down pat.
Yeah, you were not the pro you became. And then once you became pro, you turned it over to Chuck.
Well, Chuck has a pro job where he can
Well, now Chuck
proly
can be
edit.
pro.
Yeah, man. I did not appreciate a job where I could just fuck off for a day
Mm-hmm.
when I had it.
Yeah.
Because now I cannot fuck off for 10 consecutive minutes without something going wrong and lighting itself on fire, and it's my fault somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. Don't become a boss. That's what I've learned.
Every time anyone at my job has ever said, "You ever thought about management?" I said, "Yeah, I've thought about it once. Never. Not doing it.
That's not how you get ahead, Chuck.
I don't want to get ahead. I'm happy right where I am. I don't want to do that shit. Go to retreats and other
Oh, no, I don't do
dumb
any of that.
fucking bullshit.
Oh, God. No, I don't do any of that.
No, I'm just saying, like,
something goes wrong. I can't throw my people under the bus. I have to.
Yeah.
I basically have to throw myself under the bus.
Right.
So
I'm just in a
That
job
part
where
sucks.
I enjoy the work. I don't want to be the person who kind of just floats above the work. And
Man, what's that like? Being in a job where you enjoy the work.
no,
Tell me what.
As
Tell
long
me
as I
what
don't-
that's like.
as long as they stop fucking with me, I can
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Tell me about Montana.
I like about 75% of the work I do. Honestly, it's pretty cool.
I don't.
But
I enjoy,
yeah, that other 25% blows.
I enjoy about 0.75% of my job.
Mm.
I don't know if I enjoy any of my work.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever at any point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, once or twice.
See, that's the thing, man. People are like, yeah, you should do a job you enjoy and you love. And yeah, you don't get to make money when that happens.
No, even worse, you do something that you do enjoy and then you hate it.
Yeah. There's also that.
Yeah. That's why computers can eat a dick. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they will eventually, but we're not there yet.
Can't wait.
Yeah, man. Westworld.
Computer, eat my dick.
Eating dick.
Oh no, computers become
Chomp,
self-aware.
chomp.
I do like on Twitter, someone put like the original pitch for Westworld. They were just like, yeah, man, there'll be cowboy robots and you fight in a theme park and it'll be cool. And the HBO person goes, yeah, that sounds like fun. And the response is, it won't be. Yeah, because the whole cowboy fantasy thing of Westworld was done after like one episode. Then they're like, yeah, no, these guys are miserable.
I should watch that at some point, I guess.
The most recent episode was one of the best of the entire series.
I would say the best.
Yeah. Well, it's the one, like, it feels like one that has an entirely closed loop for itself. Like, it has a story where it's telling you a beginning, middle, and end that ties into everything else, but is like, all right, we have told this story and we can move on now. Whereas every other episode has been like kind of Game of Thrones-ish in that it's like, all right, here's this little chunk of this person's story, and then
Yeah.
we move on to this chunk of this person's story. And yeah.
It was very much a late era episode of Lost of these two characters are, for whatever reason, not able to acknowledge each other, and then they are, and then everything's okay, and then no, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, I love that. Like I've watched the first episode of Westworld, and that's it. And I already think I know one somewhat major spoiler, just because of commercials.
Mm.
I mean,
Well-
it doesn't even feel like it'd be a spoiler to ask
What-
because, like, literally, you can do process of elimination.
Westworld is not.
You know,
It's not a Game of Thrones type thing where it's
are
like
you waving me off? What are you?
Yeah.
You're waving at your computer.
I'm waving you off.
Okay. What?
I'm not encouraging you to ask the question, but I will just say, like, week to week, Westworld is not Game of Thrones in that it'll just be like, oh my god, you won't believe this surprising twist. It's just like things happen.
Yeah. Well, I just mean.
If you know the things that are going to happen, it's not. I mean,
It's also a show that is really going to benefit from marathoning it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
the details, Jesus Christ, are so hard.
Yeah, I mean, they do the previously
So
on
hard.
sometimes, and I'm like, I don't fucking remember that at all.
Yeah.
And
Like, for this show, I'm appreciative of when they hit you over the head with the previously on stuff, because there's like, oh, I need to know that. Okay, I didn't remember that at all.
yeah, and it's not like Game of Thrones where it's like, oh well, I guess that guy's showing back up.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I hated the previously on for Game of Thrones, because it's like, oh well,
They would show you a
alright.
season 2 clip, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that guy since then.
Yeah,
I guess
they'd be
he's
like-
coming back on.
Yeah, those dudes who could like the dude who could resurrect the other guy and they had
Yeah.
flaming swords. You know, like, oh, I guess those guys
Oh.
are back now.
Yeah.
All right, they fucked off for 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just meant like promotional material. I mean, I don't know if someone could spoil it by having never seen anything but the very first episode, but promotional material not including certain people. It's like, oh, well, I guess they're not on the show anymore, and bad things probably happen to them.
Let's just say the show does not tell itself linearly.
Oh, okay.
And especially this season, they've been kind of coy about what time period certain scenes are taking place in.
I don't know.
So
I'll watch it at some point.
So some characters are around, some characters are not, and then some characters are... I don't know what the fuck's going on with them.
I would say when season 2 is over, just marathon it. And then, because
Yeah.
season 2 really benefits from you knowing shit from season 1 that happened 14 months ago for some of us.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know who that is. Who is that? Who's that lady?
Who's that lady?
What was she doing? Do we like her?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I recognize a lot of the characters, but I'm like, okay, where did we leave them off?
Yeah.
But
But that show also does a weird time shifty thing where it's just like, I don't know where in the timeline this is. And it takes some context clues for you to go, oh, okay, this is, oh, all right.
yeah, it's like usually you have to be like, okay, what glasses does Bernard have on?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Wait, the sky's slightly orange now, so this is 30 years? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, the second season does do some very like good backstory for the entire park type stuff that they don't give you any of in the first one. You know, where it's just kind of like this place. What, Alexa?
Shut the fuck up. Go play Skyrim.
Playing Skyrim.
So Skyrim, I mean, it was basically just verbal Zork, right?
Yes.
Set in Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It sounded cool, at least.
Commercial was funny.
I wonder how many things like how deep you can go in, like how long it is.
I don't know. I thought it was wrapping up. I thought it was just a little tease, and then it was like, all right, next adventure.
No, there's apparently a lot of adventure to it.
Yeah. She also would not let you leave.
Well, I didn't know the magic words, which is quit.
Yeah, because she kept going, do you want to attack? And he's like, no, I want to quit. It's like,
You can't quit.
do you want to attack?
You're a Skyrim man.
Yeah. This is your life now.
Mm-hmm.
You can never leave.
Welcome
to the Hotel Skyrim. All right.
Welcome to the Hotel Skyrim.
Let's podcast.
Yeah, we should.
We should.
All right. He talked me into it.
Okay.
I was about to say, let's just fuck off and talk about shows I've never watched and Alexa skills and things and stuff. But, you know, he talked me into a proper podcast.
Okay. That sounds...
But I will say, Chuck's advice is the best advice.
What's
Just
that?
marathon Westworld once season 2 ends.
How many more seasons or how many more episodes are there?
There are two
more
remaining.
Okay. So I could start now, is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
I would catch up by the time it's all done.
Yeah.
No, it's a full hour show.
Yeah.
You know,
You can do it.
ain't none of them commercials.
I'm saying about the time I would be getting to where it is now, it would
Correct.
be done.
Yes.
Because I don't have the time to marathon like I once did.
There are a couple of
Where I watched
supersized
the entirety
episodes.
of Deep Space Nine in like 2 weeks.
That's a good show to marathon, especially once they
I
give
did.
you a reason to marathon it.
Yeah, after the first season.
Yeah.
First season was just like, I don't know.
Which, by the way, just one aside before we start.
All right.
The bad guys in Anthem being called the Dominion. Just come on, fuck off. Like, are there only 4 buzzwords and no one can figure out like new names to call things?
What other bad guys are called the Dominion?
The Deep Space Nine, the bad guys are the Dominion. It's very prominent. It's like 6 seasons worth of these are the bad guys. If you're going to do your space game, don't call them the Dominion.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, might just have the Borg show up for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
They should have called them the Borg.
Yeah, they should have.
Just to be like, hey,
hey,
fuck you Star Wars people. The Borg.
yeah.
I've watched like 10 minutes of E3 shit. And I mean, just a couple trailers. I watched Rage 2. I watched that, whatever, I forgot the name already, that cool, like, Mobius-looking game.
Oh, yeah.
I should probably watch the Cyberpunk 2077 one.
It's a good trailer. The Remedy game is a pretty good trailer.
Was Neo basically just like, hey, it's Neo 2?
It was some footage that no one knew what it was, and then they just slapped up a Neo 2 on the screen, and everyone went, "Oh!" But it was just CG. I mean, there was no game or anything.
So is it like not Japanesey?
Oh, it's Japanese.
Oh, okay. I was like,
There's like 8 feudal Japan games.
Yeah,
coming out.
all the games are
Yeah.
Japan now. It's all Japan post-apocalypse or space murder Destiny game.
Okay,
Those are the 3 games.
man.
Or free to play?
Or Hell.
Battle Royale.
Yeah, the Doom 2 stuff looked pretty good.
That's it.
What was that? I want to say it was Savage, but that's not what it's called. The one that you marked on.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I just know it looks
look cool though.
looks like Mobius.
And I'll forget about it. And it'll come out in a year, and I'll go, "What's this? I don't know."
There are a billion games coming out in February.
It was just all those like the Xbox indie games. Whenever they show any of them, you're like, "Oh, that looks cool. Oh, that looks sweet." And then like it takes 6 years for them to come out, and then you go, I mean, like Cuphead was the only one that persevered through that.
You got Cuphead DLC coming out.
Yeah,
Gonna have Snoop Dogg in it.
a lady in it.
What?
Lady Cup.
One of the art designers or something from Cuphead asked Snoop Dogg on Twitter if he wanted to be a boss in the DLC.
Makes sense, don't it?
No.
Oh, no, it's time for a wallop.
It's gonna be all wiggly. All right. I've already forgotten this movie. Let's talk about it.
He will weed you.
Oh.
That will be his move.
Oh.
He's going to give you the weeds.
All right, let's do podcast.
Okay.
Eh.
Oh, write that thing.
Trying to make it go slow. All right, and welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey,
BMFcast.
Episode 426.
Wow.
Blaze it.
Whoa.
The numbers are so high.
Yeah, so are we. No, we're
No, we're not.
not. So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every episode of this here BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie, come in here and talk about it for the first half, and then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They go into 5 jocks and robot jocks.
Robot
Robot
Jocks.
Jocks.
All right.
However, there are bad movies. This is stay away. They get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags and giant bags of trash.
Garbage.
A boo.
Blah.
Bleh.
Dumpster filler.
Bleh.
So sometime back we watched what movies was it?
1988's Shakedown.
Shakedown. Yeah, we watched
Yes.
Shakedown,
You're busted.
and it featured some scenes from another movie.
Yeah, some fellows in a grindhouse theater
Yeah.
were watching this film.
Yeah, 1982's The Soldier,
Mhm.
also by one James Glickenhaus.
Yeah.
So we're watching The Soldier
Yeah,
from
because
James Glickenhaus.
in that movie we were like, that movie looks rad. We should watch that.
Yeah.
What a mistake.
Hey, no editorializing at the top.
hey, hey,
Too late.
hey.
Let's get a quick plot summary for this here thing out of the way and talk about it, I guess.
Okay.
Terrorists steal a plutonium bomb and threaten to detonate it in a Saudi Arabian oil field. A special anti-terrorist unit is sent in to stop them.
To stop them.
Kind of.
Sure.
Sure.
I guess you could argue that's what the movie's about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, let's get the cast out of the way.
All right.
All right.
Ken Wall
Yeah,
is the titular soldier.
he is.
Yeah. From The Taking of Beverly Hills.
Mhm.
Which we were like, man, Ken Wall's awesome.
Yeah.
Why have we not watched more Ken Wall?
Well, now he's about 50%.
Yeah. And speaking of watching more of someone,
Mm-hmm.
Steve James makes his 10th
Yay.
BMFcast appearance.
That's insane.
It's awesome.
It is that we've seen 10 Steve James movies.
Yeah, he probably has the best line and best scene in this movie.
He does.
But yeah, otherwise it's a whole lot of that dude type people.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, there's no other BAMcast alums, but there's like Alberta Watson, was in Hackers and 24.
Yeah. She was Aaron Driscoll.
I guess William Prince was in Shakedown and The Taking of Beverly Hills.
He's the Link.
Yes, the link. Yes,
He was the president.
he was the president as
Yes.
he's billed. There's a lot of like Ken Wall's character is never named. He's just called the Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve James is part of his squad, which is called the Soldier's Force.
Yeah.
And the other guys, including Joaquim de Almeida, who not
He's
a not a
child in
BMFcast.
this movie.
Yeah, not a BMFcast. He doesn't even have a line either. I don't think he speaks.
He says, "I'm in,"
okay.
when they're
Yeah.
going down the line. Like that's his only line of dialogue.
I feel as though he's
Yeah,
like
but-
an unofficial member of the BMFcast, though, due to his
Yeah.
participation
being in Fast Five.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that dude. If you need a drug lord, he is the drug lord
Mm-hmm.
in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Peter Hooton.
Yeah,
I guess he is a BMFcast alum from Doctor Strange.
he's Doctor Strange.
from that Doctor Strange,
Right.
The one we watched.
Right.
TV's Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
The hoots.
Yeah,
As in not,
the
you
one
know,
with Archer's mom.
As in not the one with Been a Dragon Cumber Smaug.
No,
No.
the one with Jessica Walter.
Yes, that's bad.
It was. I don't know. I've literally forgotten everything about that.
It was all right.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
it was. It was a wizard. He was a
all right.
wizard.
He did
He
some
did wizard things.
Wizard handing.
Don't call him a wizard. He is a sorcerer.
Wizard handing. Yeah, that was during Wizard Month.
It was, yeah. No.
No,
it
that
wasn't.
was
Was
the,
the-
our BMFcast theme month.
Yeah.
Before Marvel.
Oh right,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that was
Fucking
leading.
Stan
cared
Lee
about
presents.
Standards trilogy.
I think that was before leading up to the Avengers.
Yeah,
It was.
Yeah.
yeah.
Holy shit,
See how
that was
we-
a long time ago.
We did the Nick Fury movie and
Yep.
starring the Hasselhoff.
That one was
I
better
think
than
one of the
Doctor Strange.
Captain America movies. No, we did that with the Super Soldier. Well, no, I don't remember how the fuck we
Man,
did
I
this.
don't even remember which one we
I don't
watched.
remember what the third one was.
Yeah, I think we watched the 1991 first,
We-
and then we went back into
Was
the
it The
other.
Punisher?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Yeah,
That was so long
because
ago.
that one was all right.
That one was not just all right. The Punisher is fucking awesome.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unlike The Soldier,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which you could tell we're avoiding talking about.
Well,
But-
I mean, you should also
I mean-
mention that James Glickenhaus. Well, we did. He is
Yeah.
a BMFcast alum.
The Glick.
The Glick.
yeah, from
is in the house.
McBain.
Yeah.
Not
And-
the McBain you would want it to be.
No,
No.
and Shakedown.
Right.
Yeah, Shakedown.
Yeah.
And this one does not feel like either of those movies.
Feels a little bit
To
like
me.
McBain. McBain
Somewhat-
was boring.
It's weird. This was 1982.
Mm-hmm.
For so long in the first half of this movie, I got a Dawn of the Dead vibe. Like, it is very much like if you had George Romero in Dawn of the Dead mode and said, I want you to make a James Bond movie, kind of.
Yeah.
This kind of feels like what you'd get.
It's because shots linger forever, and it's got that kind of droning electronic score.
Yeah.
This one's by Tangerine Dream. It's just got that kind of pulsating, just kind of like drone sound.
I think of anything, its biggest sin is that it's so uneven. Like the opening scene is like, oh, we're gonna be all right here. This is gonna be good.
Yeah.
Because the very very first scene is like Philadelphia, 5:45 a.m. and a limousine is driving down a completely empty street. There's a couple people on the sidewalk, and a lady is pushing a classic, baby carriage across the street.
Has there ever been a scene in a movie where a baby carriage going in front of a moving car where nobody else is in the street has ever resulted in just someone being stupid and pushing the thing out and not attempting to murder someone?
No.
I don't know. I mean,
.tumblr.com.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, but yes,
Yeah,
this
it just-
card.
it should. I want to know if that's a trope that.
Well, I will say, like, most of the time in a movie, you would get, okay, the car sort of swerves and plows into the baby carriage, and then it's, like, full of cans or whatever dumb
Yep.
shit. But this time, it's just like, nope, murder the baby carriage and the lady that was pushing it. All
Yeah.
the people on the side of the street are like, what? No! And go running out and check on her, and she's obviously dead. And then it's like, oh, hey, there was a gun in the baby carriage, and everyone else is opening up, like, lunch pails and purses and things like that and pulling out guns. And our soldier force is just over to the side and just machine guns them down. Like,
Yeah.
Limo's gone. Limo's just like, hey, fuck that shit. I'm out of here. And the soldier force murders these people.
Standing
They
there,
were
like,
in on it, for sure.
Like, they're just standing there. Like,
Pulling out, what, you mean the soldier force or
yeah,
the people?
the
Yeah,
soldier
they're just-
force. the entire way this is staged made it seem like this was going to be some sort of training thing.
Yeah.
It just
But it's
because
not.
they are literally just standing on the steps of some memorial or something, just waiting to open. It's not like they arrive or appear; they're just there, and the streets are literally empty. Like there is nothing anywhere except
car.
whatever's happening here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
But-
is them graphically machine gunning down people
Yeah, and then-
with Dawn of the Dead style squibs coming out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they just grab up the bodies, grab a actual old school water fire extinguisher, hose off the blood, throw them in a copter that lands, and just get the fuck out of there. And then it's like opening credits, which are like a weird. It's like if you let a first year film student like try to make sort of like the fuck is it Bernard Herrmann like that mixed with like all the President's Men kind of thing going on. Like and
Yeah.
You're thinking of Saul Bass.
Saul Bass,
Yeah,
yes,
Saul
sorry,
Bass,
but he's the music guy,
Yeah.
for most of those movies. But yes, Saul Bass. But yeah,
But it's just like Hammer and Sickle and America Flag and
Right.
Star and
but it's doing
Word
like,
says
it's doing
democracy.
That, it's
and-
doing that all the President's Men like
Yeah.
like pictures are cut up and they're like dropping
Yeah.
onto the screen.
Government denies knowledge.
Yeah.
But
But then it's right to like the smarmiest, like most chill Russian dude, just like
teaching a class.
yeah, we were lazy, and this soldier got the best of us. And what's the first rule about pushing a baby carriage across the street?
Yeah.
Push it way out in front of you in case they decide not to stop.
Yeah. Where did this agent go wrong, huh?
But he holds up a picture, a publicity shot of Ken Wool, and is like, memorize this face. He is the soldier. That is his name.
The soldier.
Yeah, and he's like, he has stopped reporting in to the CIA, which makes him even more dangerous.
he's doing things what he wants to do.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But from here, I guess this guy is suddenly in the United States. Because,
Oh, not suddenly. He gets off a tanker onto
Okay,
a little boat.
yes.
Little boat goes all the way up to the dock. Docks at the dock. They get off the boat.
Yeah.
We get to see the entire process of this.
Yeah,
It's like,
this movie doesn't waste a single shot of footage. It is just
yes, it does.
well,
Everything
it
they
wastes
shot
footage.
is in the final cut.
yeah.
True, that is true.
Except for the sex scene later, which they decided to just get away from that immediately. But yeah, so we watched the entire process of them arriving, and then they are waiting for this truck to come by because we watched this truck come out of a facility with a giant silo on it that says,
M nuclear.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's EM nuclear.
Yeah.
but-
So we watch them put that on the truck, and then they open the gate, and then they drive through the gate, and then dudes jump in a car, and then they close the gate, and the cars go after it. It's like, we get it. You're establishing the fuck out of things we don't need established.
And then we watch this thing drive over a hill and
yeah.
down a ways, and then there's just a guy standing there with a rocket launcher, and they're like, "Oh no, Mayday, Mayday!" And then but they don't even bother to show the rocket going towards the car. It's just like cut to a close up of car and
I
explosion.
just appreciate that their call is to the local sheriff.
Yeah.
This is the military transporting nuclear material.
Yeah.
Well,
but it's just.
And they call the local sheriff.
It was probably just an open line.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, it's a CB. It's not like they made a call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, there was a sheriff sitting there like, "Gosh, I better go," and then get and goes.
Yeah.
And then, but yes, they've blown up the lead car, then shot the truck, which just conveniently blows up and separates from the trailer that was hauling the nuclear thing.
It seems like this is a tactical mission that they're just using a sledgehammer to do.
Yeah.
And it's just like.
Well, they also never deal with they never establish what happens to the follow car because there was a car in front and a car in back.
yeah.
they
you
never
see it in the aftermath.
Yeah,
It's
they never bother inserting a shot of like, yeah, we took out that car too. But these dudes just they've blown up everything. A couple soldiers get out and take it to Burning Man onto the ground,
right.
and then they just pull up and it's like, we'll just take our time, like
Put gloves on.
put gloves on, climb up this sort of silo thing, pull out nuclear waste. Then the sheriff comes up and is like,
Hey.
"Yeah, you son of a bitch, dude, what are you doing?"
Yeah, keep in mind,
Down here.
there are two exploded cars. There are charred human remains that he's standing next to. And he's like, hey, what are you guys doing here?
What are you guys doing?
And yeah, lead
No problem here, officer.
Yeah.
lead spy teacher guy, whatever, is just like, no problem here, I am Travis Sickle. And, you know, like...
I will raise my hand slowly and not suspiciously.
Right. And
Except
he
I
has,
have a...
He has a shotgun.
Yeah.
Sawed-off shotgun in his sleeve.
Yep.
Yes.
Blows
Which,
away
after he blows away the sheriff, they take time to show us how he reloads it and how he basically uses like the rubber band or whatever that's around the trigger so that he can flex it.
He meticulously...
Which never comes back.
Nope.
You don't
Yeah.
have a shot like that of showing how he does all this.
Nope.
No, this guy's barely even ever in the movie again. I mean, like,
Yeah.
he shows up a little bit later,
He's
but,
in,
like...
I mean, and this guy is the villain. This is the lead villain of the movie.
Yeah.
And he is maybe in 3 more scenes, 2 of which are him standing in front of the biggest dot matrix printer you've ever seen, waiting for a fax
Yeah.
that just says, "The soldier is here" on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they this is how they steal the plutonium for the bomb.
Yes.
Cut to middle of the desert, Saudi Arabia, and a prolonged sequence of truck pulls up with an actual oil barrel or a fake bomb in an oil barrel, puts it into a stack of oil barrels, takes a real oil barrel, puts it in the back of the truck. But I mean, they set the bomb with like a water heater timer and all this shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. And then we go to Israel, where they have received the letter from the terrorists, which is just basically, we're going to blow up the pipeline, and 50% of the world's oil is gone. Just like that.
For 300
Yeah.
years.
We're going to blow it up. And the demands are, you guys need to leave the West Bank, and we won't blow it up.
Yeah. We have you have 96 hours to comply.
Yep, and this whole scene is all right. I will only remark on this because there's one weird shot or the final shot is very weird because the whole scene is basically like on, as you said, basically on a lazy Susan in the middle of this boardroom table.
Yeah,
it's just a round boardroom table, and it's just going around, and everyone's giving their take about what's happening. And they cut to the Mossad agent who's in the rest of this movie, and her take is just like something, and then they go away from her. But when they come back around, there is a dude that almost looks like he is her chair. Like they were so close that it looks like she's sitting in his lap.
it was like they were playing musical chairs, and that dude sat down, and she was like, "Hey," and she's kind of sitting in his lap, like, "God damn it!"
Yeah, but it's just weird because like this guy was not in the shot,
Yeah, I
and
know.
then they come back around, and this guy's like uncomfortably close to her.
Yeah.
It's like, who are you, and where were you in the last go round? But anyway,
But guess what? That doesn't mean anything at all either.
It doesn't either.
No. So anyway,
All it does is halfway introduce her.
Sort of,
yeah.
yes. It introduces her as the lady that's in this movie. Because after this, aside from... So there's an interrogation scene, which... Fuck if I even know what this is about, but...
I don't either. No.
They've got informant guy, who is informant guy in every movie. Like, this guy somehow made a career out of being that guy. And they are just... He is sitting at a table nervously eating soup, and they literally drag this other dude in who has this weird, like, Geico caveman makeup job on, and we're looking like, what is the deal with this guy? Like,
Yeah.
what proto-Klingon is he? And they string him up in this interrogation room, and she's like, is this him? And the guy eating soup is like, I don't know. And so she points a gun at him, asking if it's him, and then he nervously kind of says yes, and then she turns around and shoots that guy in the head.
And we're like, oh, okay, well, that's why I had weird forehead, because
Yeah.
it's like it's a really bad forehead squib because it
It's all
doesn't.
jello-y and weird.
Yeah, I
after
mean,
it
it's
goes
not
off, and-
it's not brainy or bloody. It's like the back of the squib. The thing
Yeah.
protecting his actual head is like what you can see in a close up, and it's like Blu-ray didn't do this movie any favors. Like,
Yeah. So she's like, okay, you owe us 2 more terrorists. Here are a bunch of glamour shots of the terrorists in the area that we know.
yeah, I do love that they all like
It's all their professional
It's all their
headshots.
headshots.
all of the Taliban
Yeah.
went down to the mall and hit glamour shots.
Here's my work on the back.
This is my good side. Do not capture this side. I will
And then
murder you.
she's just like, okay, you owe us 2 more. We'll be back. And then she just goes in the other room, and it's the dude who just got shot, and he peels off all the prosthetics. And she's like, you're the best double agent we've ever had.
And was that Ken Wall?
No, it was just a dude. None of that mattered.
I am so confused.
None of it mattered.
Didn't matter.
It just, basically all it meant was, here's a lady, and she's on the case.
I thought it was Ken Wall.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
No, because Ken Wall is absent from this movie forever.
Yeah.
Are we
I
sure it
know.
wasn't Ken Wall? Because
I'm
like
a night.
Yeah. Yes.
1,000%
Okay,
it's
just
not.
no, because I mean, it kind of would explain why he has some relationship with Israel.
No, because she
No,
meets,
she's introduced to
okay,
him later in
all
the
right,
movie.
Yeah.
fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're probably about 40 minutes into this movie at this
Yeah,
point,
it's
and
a
the
lot.
soldier has been in one scene.
Yeah.
Well, okay, no. So there's his boss.
The head of the CIA.
He reports to the head of the CIA, and that's it. No one knows this guy exists other than that.
Yeah.
Well, someone is listening to their conversations, and the CIA guy is like, okay, here's the deal. Something's going on. You need to go figure it out. And Ken Wall's like, well, I just need to go to Russia because they're behind it. And the guy's like, not on my watch.
Well, you can't do that, but however, an important Russian dude
Yeah.
is having a vacation in Austria.
Yeah, why don't you go to the ski resort and go meet him?
Yep.
And Ken Wall's like, okay, sweet. So, meanwhile, another dude is meticulously filling up a light bulb with Joy and, like liquid dish soap Joy and gasoline. And this goes on for 5 straight minutes of him building this light bulb bomb.
They show the entire sequence
Yes.
of everything he does.
And then him putting on he's in a maid's outfit, and then he comes in and replaces the light bulb in the CIA dude's desk to be paid off later.
Like 20 minutes from now.
Yeah.
So anyway, Ken Wall goes to Austria and just parks in the middle of Ski Town and gets on a
He starts following Klaus Kinski.
yeah, and they both get in a tram ski lift thing and go up, and we watch the whole goddamn thing.
Well, it's to be fair, it's like a cable car, not a traditional.
Okay.
A ski lift is different.
right, yeah. It's a cable car.
Yeah.
They all get in it.
Or
They
gondola,
go-
if you prefer.
They go the entire way, just all the way up. We watch the whole thing. They get to the top, and then he just kind of, him and Klaus Kinski go off and start having a discussion about, hey, it's the Russians. What do you know about it? And he's like, I don't know, get in that little tiny cable car.
Yeah, I guess this is what takes you up to like the K-12.
Sure.
Or something. I don't know. Like,
So Ken Wall gets in it, and Klaus Kinski just goes over to the controls. It's just like, see ya, and turns it on.
Yeah, and he's like, hey.
The hell,
man.
bro? I came all the way here to meet you. And yeah, so he just starts going up the mountain, and then Klaus Kinski turns off the controls and skedaddles out of the movie entirely.
Yeah, because cut
Forever.
to dude's on the mountainside loading up a fucking rocket launcher.
Yep. And Ken
Ken
Wall
Wall-
sees it and
Ken
is
Wall,
like, oh shit.
Well, Ken Wall knows he's trapped, so he's already punched out the glass
Yeah.
and is opening the door as he sees, fuck, I'm going to become Rocket Man. And takes a dive out of this gondola
Yep.
just as it blows up. Like, this stuntman,
The timing
perilously
on it.
close
Girl,
to
you in
death.
danger.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, perilously close to death.
Yep.
Because this guy jumps out, like, literally as it explodes. So I don't know if, like, he had the trigger or if some asshole, like, hit the trigger wrong. But this dude almost got blown up.
I mean, it's so close. I bet he probably just had like a wire tied to him. It was like jump out and it will immediately explode, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like a parachute ripcord.
Yeah, something like that. Because it's like, holy shit. Mm-hmm. And that's like, hey, wait, movie's coming alive.
Yeah, here we
Because
go.
we knew when he was in the snow, we're like, we saw this,
This
scene
is
in the
what we saw.
in Shakedown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he straps on his skis and just he's just like, I gotta get out of here. And he takes off, and 2 henchmen chase off after him. And this
get-
becomes.
And for a while,
20 minutes of Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
yeah, for a while they're just straight skiing. Like they're not
Yeah.
like they're just. It's a pursuit and an escape.
Yes.
There are no guns until like they get down close to population, and then it's like, well, one dude eats it. Like they jump over a road where a snowplow is going by, and one dude just I wasn't ready for stunting, and he just falls and tumbles and
that
dies.
Stuntman
eats
got
it.
hurt.
Yeah.
Yes.
The other one is like, oh, my buddy's gone. I guess I have a gun. I
Yeah.
should probably use it. And start shooting. And like to which Austrians, I don't know what the fuck's been going on in Austria, but they don't give a shit.
They're super chill. They've seen
They-
it all. No one scattered like when the lift blew up.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that could have been a good ways up because they did ski for a really long time. But
Yeah.
like this dude's just straight shooting, and everyone's just like, huh?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they get to so there's like a little outdoor cafe area, and there's clearly a point where it's a jump basically. Let's just say that. So, guy is shooting at Ken Wall. Ken Wall hits the jump, pulls out his gun, and as he's stunting around backwards, starts shooting the guy. lights that guy up.
Yeah, because he has a machine gun
Yeah.
in his jacket.
In his jacket.
He has chosen not to use it until now.
Right.
But yes, he shoots this guy 7 or 8 times in midair.
Kenwall lands safely and continues to ski on.
Mm-hmm.
The now dead man lands into someone's breakfast.
Yep.
And they're just like, well, this is inconvenient.
Well,
I hope I
Well,
get a refund on
Considering
this.
they keep going to shots of, I guess, the guy who runs the Frankfurter stand there or whatever, because he's just like he doesn't even have like
It's a Vienna sausage.
whatever it is, man. But he just has this look on his face that's just like it's the weirdest look because he's not like,
Yeah.
holy shit, you just shot that guy. It's not like that.
It's like, I can't
And
believe
it's
this
not
keeps
like,
happening.
and it's not like, God damn it, you just destroyed my breakfast with a dead man.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, huh.
Yeah.
You know,
It's all poor reaction shots.
yeah,
because-
it's kind of like the look you'd give if like a couple was arguing in the table next to you. You'd be like, huh,
That's unfortunate.
I don't know if I should look over there.
man, glad I'm not them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that is the look this guy keeps giving, despite the fact that a man has just been machine gunned to death and landed in his cafe.
Yeah. Yes.
To which that guy, like Ken Wall, is me like, all right, tell me what's going on.
Yeah, and he starts to say something that I don't think ever pays off either because he's like, it's...
Oh, he says it's us. It was us. He's like, we did it. The Russians did it.
Yeah, but he's not saying any of this in a Russian accent.
No. He's
Oh
not.
no.
Because I was like, wait a minute, is this like, is he saying
I know.
it's us, Ken Wall, the Americans are doing this?
No, but it was the implication is that he's like, yeah, it's the Russians are
I
doing
know.
this. We're behind.
Yeah,
this.
it
It's
says
just-
the Russians. I don't know where the bomb is though.
Yeah, but none of the Russians
And
in
now
this
I'm dead.
have a Russian accent. They just
No.
sound like dipshits. I mean, they're just
Yeah.
they're just snotty, just...
But as you said, Klaus Kinski, he disappears. Like
Yeah,
he's not.
that's it. He's gone.
Like,
you
he-
think Klaus Kinski being in this movie is the main villain of the movie?
Nope.
He's not. That's
No.
it. He's out.
Yeah, he showed up in this one.
He
thing.
showed up in his tight little ski pants and then got his free sandwich and fucked off.
He didn't even ski.
No,
No.
he
So
can't.
Klaus cannot
can't
ski. Yeah,
No.
Klaus can't ski.
Yeah. So from here,
Yep.
Ken Wall decides he has to report back in. I guess.
He goes to Berlin.
Okay. Yes. Goes to Berlin.
He goes to the. He sneaks into the embassy in Berlin.
He basically breaks into the U.S. embassy.
Which is a weird tactic. Like you could show up and be like, "Hey,
I'm an American.
I'm an American, and I need to talk to somebody in charge," and then be like, "Yo, CIA, I need a line."
But no, he holds the communications guy at gunpoint and is like, "I need to talk to the CIA."
Fucking stupid. Like
And he's
'cause
like-
this
he's
guy's
like-
got a murder boner for him for the rest of the movie.
Yep.
This communication guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like, "I'm legit. I'm a special agent. I need to call into the CIA," which he does.
And-
The guy has triggered the silent alarm, of course, but
Immediately triggers a silent alarm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I like so.
it was a knee-jerk reaction.
I like that. So his boss has shown up at his office at whatever the hell time it is
Yeah.
in the East Coast, and immediately calls like the computer center to find out what time it is in Austria, and then here's what time it is in Austria, and then just undoes his tie and kicks back.
It was manual
Yeah.
Siri. He's
Yeah.
like, "Hey,
lady."
hey lady, what time is it here?"
Yeah.
Thank you.
And he's also teased turning on his lamp like several times. You're just like,
And he's like, I'm a little
Yeah, it's
tired.
like-
Take a little nappy poo here.
someone's listening to something Hitchcock told people about putting a bomb under the chair. Because man, they dance around that fucking light
yeah.
for a while until Ken Wall's finally like,
Let me give you the information I need to give you. And the
Yeah.
guy's like, let me get a pen.
Yeah, just about the time he's like, look, because cards have busted in and be like, look, I'm a spy. I'm talking to the head of the CIA. And about that time is when he takes the phone away, it's just so he doesn't hear his. Would you hear your friend blow up? I mean, like, I don't know how. Would the phone,
I don't know.
Would the phone melt before it gets to the.
The
you know what
guy,
I mean?
the guy later said the line was dead.
Well, you know what I'm saying. Like, would you actually hear the explosion, or would it
maybe
just be
you'd hear
so
a noise.
fast and?
Yeah, but
melts
in the
the line.
80s international calls, you probably heard weird noises.
Well,
all
it
the
was just
time.
it was just gasoline and a light bulb. It's not like it's going to be a huge. I mean, it's a very fiery.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
much like
it's not going to be a
napalm. Yeah.
huge explosion.
but it goes off
So-
in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
there's
the
going to be
problem.
some noise.
Yeah.
And probably screaming.
Yeah.
He reached out and torched someone.
Ah, that is a good one.
But
Yeah.
yes, but
He Burnings Man's a while
yeah,
too.
he does.
Yeah.
And
in
then
slow
like the
motion.
dude's like, "Hey, there's nobody there," and then he's like, and then there's like, "Get him." Mm-hmm. To which he's just like,
Yeah, the guy goes, "You're full of shit."
Yeah.
Yeah.
To which Ken Wall's like, "God damn it!"
Yeah.
And defenestrates himself out a window.
He does. Yeah.
Jumps off of a roof and it lands in the bushes.
Oh. I know that stuntman landed on a pad, but just
Yeah.
the way that he came down, like if you're buying into movie magic, you see the stuntman go prone, like lay flat, and it's like, oh man, Ken Wall just landed back first after jumping 3 stories down.
Yeah.
Um,
I do like though that getting out, he hops the wrought iron fence, and he just like nonchalantly puts the machine gun, like hooks it onto
Yeah.
one of the spikes, and just casually retrieves it after hopping over it. There's just, it's hard to describe, but the way that he does it is
It's
just,
rather dainty.
It's
Yeah.
chill. It's just so like,
It's
and
just
here's
like,
my gun. All right, let's
man.
go. Yeah, and he, I don't know, steals a car. The
I
car
guess.
he just gets in it and goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have shown up in it. May have shown. I don't
yeah.
know. I mean, but yes, they have a slight car chase to which he ends up using the local police as like a distraction for a little bit because like he just waits. He's sitting at a traffic light, and then, like, for whatever reason, the communications guy, he's a field agent now.
Oh,
like
yeah.
second he got taken hostage, he's like,
He got
"I have a-
promoted immediately."
I have a murder boner for this guy. Get me out of the communications room.
Yeah,
I'm leading the charge. There he is.
Yeah.
To which Ken Wall pulls off, and the police are like, "Hey," and get in the way. And then eventually he's just like he goes crashing into the Israeli embassy,
yes,
just like right through the gate, and then gets out, and a whole bunch of dudes. It's funny because it just looks like all the office workers had guns under their desk.
Yes.
And they all just stood up and like freeze. And then he's just like, "Hey," and then the American soldiers, the MPs, come out and are like, "What?" Along with the communications guy and combusting, and they're like, "Yay! You don't understand. Like he broke into our embassy." And they're like, "If you don't get off our land, we're going to declare this an act of war, and we're going to shoot you. You have 10 seconds."
the Americans are using the argument of he broke into our office and tried to make a phone call, and it's like, so he's American. What is his crime? But this is just they're like, we have to murder him now, and the Israelis are like, nah, you need to get out of here.
Yeah, and then once the Americans those MPs finally leave, they're like, "Oh, you son of a bitch! It's been a long time."
Yeah.
That whole thing, like,
Yeah.
They got you pushing too many
Yeah.
pencils.
Yeah.
Well, yes,
Welcome-
this is when
welcome
he-
back, the soldier.
I guess this is when he gets introduced to the Mossad lady because like I said, I thought the connection there was like he was doing some double agent shit for them, and that's why they were like, "You son of a bitch, you
Nope.
our old friend." No,
they just know him.
sure they just know the soldier.
Yeah, and it's just basically like, is it the Russians? He's like, yeah, it's the Russians. They're like,
All right, well, here, hang
Well,
out with this lady for a little while
yeah.
and have the sex.
yes, here's take the lady.
Well, does he
She will help
does he get the team back together? Oh no, I think he's like says we got to get the team back together.
Well, no, this is what doesn't make any sense. Like he goes in and they talk for a little bit about
Right.
what's happening, and then he's just sitting in a chair, and some harpsichord music is playing, and then there's a goddamn ninja in the room.
Yes.
And you're like, what is like? Did the Israelis send a ninja in to kill him? And this is all scored with harpsichord. What's happening with the? It's the weirdest transition in the whole movie. I still don't even understand where this happens or why.
I assume this was also in the Israeli embassy.
But because
I know.
because so Ninja attacks him. He stops at the last minute, and they tussle for a while until
There was almost a deninjastration.
almost.
I mean, he
got-
was dangerously close. He cracked some glass, but he didn't throw him through it.
right, and then Ken Wall gets the drop on the ninja and is going to murder him with this giant knife that he has.
No, the ninja brings out a giant knife,
Right.
like half knife, half sword.
Oh, that's right.
And
Ken
then
Wall pulls out a
as
gun.
he swings back, he lodges it in the
Oh, yeah.
armoire that's behind him.
yes,
And as he's trying to get it loose, that's when Kenwell pulls out a gun on him.
and then Ninja's like, whoa, hold on, it's me.
Steve James.
Right.
And he's suddenly like,
You. It's like
you ruined my shirt.
it's like who sent him there?
Yeah, is this how
Do
the
they
soldier
always do
force
this?
greets each other
Yeah.
with attempted murder, with attempted garroting?
It's just so strange.
Yeah, because he's got the full on like piano wire style because it's
Yeah.
cutting his arm.
Yes.
It's the sharp kind.
Yeah.
not just choking for decapitation.
They weren't pulling punches. I mean, he might have murdered him.
Yeah.
He was going to. Steve James was going to become the soldier.
Maybe that's how you move up in rank.
Maybe, I guess.
Murder
Yeah.
the soldier, and you become the soldier.
I guess, but
I hear the battle royale thing is popular these days.
yeah,
But he's like, we got to get the team back together.
this just becomes recruit the people,
which is
and-
really just like you send the next guy to get the next guy because
yeah,
like Steve James goes and recruits drunk dude who's in a honky tonk saloon.
Yeah.
Yeah, where George Strait is playing.
Yes, literally.
Actually, George Strait.
Yes.
Yeah. And he just, I mean, this dude's just drunk watching mud wrestling.
As you do. Right next to the mechanical bull.
Yeah,
Yep.
which is right next to
Which
George Strait. Just
singing.
just straight singing.
yeah.
But I mean, like the transition. He's just like, we got to get the team back together. He's like, you want to get the one from such and such? He's like, yeah. And then, as far as we know, as far as the movie is telling us, we were in Israel. We were in the Israeli embassy. And
We were
then,
in Berlin
I'm sorry.
in the Israeli
Sorry, we were in
embassy.
Berlin
Yes.
in the Israeli embassy, and then suddenly someone's riding a mechanical bull, and we're like,
Where are we now?
what?
Yeah.
It's the Leningrad Cowboys? What is going on here?
And someone remarks,
It's like
Steve
a
James,
Rhineland cowboy.
Yeah, someone remarked while we were watching, like, Steve James, you better get out of there soon.
You were the wrong person to go in there. And
Yeah.
I will say, at the very least, this trouble doesn't start for any race reason. It starts because Steve James is in the way of the show.
Yeah,
Drunk Cowboy Man is trying to watch the mud wrestling, and Steve James is trying to help his drunk friend get
Yeah.
out of the place.
However,
It may not have started that way,
obnoxious,
but
Yes, it-
obnoxious cowboy. But the problem is, Cowboy Man, like, the second Steve James steps foot in front of him, he's like, down in front.
yeah. Yeah.
And like every 5 seconds after that, down in front.
Yeah. And then Steve James is like, hold on. And he's just like, look, dude, what's the
Yeah.
problem here? And that's when the dude busts out the racism. It's
Yeah.
just like, hey, N-word, listen.
Yeah, and that's when Steve James sets his buddy back down, says, I'll be right back. And he says, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
So the guy repeats it.
Yeah. And then takes a swing at Steve James and,
gets body slammed into the mud.
yeah,
pit.
gets his shit wrecked for it. Another guy hits Steve James, gets tossed in there. Another guy rushes him and then gets kicked in the back of the head. You know, just...
Eventually, one dude comes at him, and just there's a moment where Steve James and this guy square up, and he basically goes like, "All right, you have two choices: duck or bleed."
And the guy's like, well, what the fuck ever. I'm still coming at you. And then this...
I think
and
that's
Steve James, that's when Steve James redirects that guy
Yeah.
into another dude.
and that's
Yeah.
what sets
Which-
off the Donnybrook, of
Right.
course,
Yeah.
because that's what happens. You
Yeah.
know?
So-
Someone that's not involved has to get hit, and then
Yeah.
it's like, son of a bitch.
and then everyone's just like, well, we're tearing this place up.
Yeah, to the point a guy gets run across the bar by his face
Yeah. So, like, Steve James sets that into motion, and then it's just like, all right,
and
cool.
grabs his buddy and leaves.
And they walk out. And as they're walking out, the fight continues as a dude is thrown out of the bar
This
window.
is an amazing shot because it's just it's just a dolly shot going along with them, kind of like they're like diagonally in the frame.
I think we should paint the entire picture because they kind of follow the dude that's been like dragged along the bar. They're kind of walking out at the same pace as him, and then it's cut to like like let's say they're going right to left in the bar, following this dude getting dragged down the bar.
Yep.
Then outside shot is going to go left to right with a dolly shot. So they come out of the bar and it's like, oh, it's a real bar. There's a sign that says mud wrestling, but it's going left to right, and it's like then we see this van. So hashtag Vanuary,
Jesus.
which is like, it almost looks like some inappropriate art, but it's super detailed. It almost looks like a weird sex dungeon thing on the side of the van.
Yeah.
I can't tell because it never pulls in close enough.
It's
Yeah.
like if skeletons were into S&M,
Yeah.
their desires are painted on this
But
van.
so he's dragging his friend along, and then just about the time they pass the van is like you see the big comical Western window that is about to get broken, and dude that was getting roughed up is thrown out the window by a rather large lady.
Yeah.
Even better.
It's one of the mud wrestling
yeah.
ladies.
Yep.
But I mean, like then he's just like dumping his
She
friend.
follows him out
Well,
the window
yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
And
and,
then
and
it's
there's
like,
three
"Ah!"
ladies cheering her on
right.
behind
And
her.
then like there's just of course there's just random people hanging out in the parking lot and drinking beers and hanging out. But it's great because like you see that it's a real bar with a real marquee that says mud wrestling tonight or whatever. And he throws them in a convertible, and then it's just like primary color cars all throughout this. It's a wonderful shot. Like it's
Yeah.
it's like this like one thing they were like, yeah, this is our shot in this movie, and
yeah, because I mean
they
the
tried.
timing of it's perfect. Everything about it is great.
Yeah.
yeah, this was like
It's
we
the-
got to make everything come together for this shot.
It's the most bit of character that this movie has, both like giving Steve James something to do and just letting the movie breathe and just have some fun.
Yeah.
It's the only scene in the movie that does that, because no one else gets a moment like this. No one else has any kind of stunt spectacular that they have to deal with. I mean, like they go pick up a guy on the side of a mountain,
Yeah.
but all he does is
I also think it's remarkable because it's like it's the only place that feels like people are kind of reacting like you would think they would,
Right.
given the place.
yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying they're doing the right reactions, but
Mm-hmm.
like everyone's behaving like they should be in a place like this,
Yeah.
including George Strait not giving good, another fucking Donnybrook. He's just like I'm going to keep
Better
singing.
keep playing.
Yeah, it's just like everyone is reacting like they should, and everything like just even the timing of this to like perfectly pan over just as someone's getting thrown out of the window. I mean, it's like the execution of this this one shot is pretty magnificent.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that's very frustrating about this movie because obviously they can do it. They can have characterization and moments and make these people seem like people.
But
Let's keep in mind, though,
then this guy got
Ken
sober.
Wool,
Yeah.
not anywhere near any
Not
of
in
these
No,
scenes.
nowhere.
But-
He has sent them all to go gather up.
This dude goes and grabs somebody else. I think the drunk guy wakes up and because then like there's another dude like it's very unimportant like how the next guy that gets picked up. I think we were still marveling over the Steve James scene because it's over real quick. But like the guy that he goes and picks up grabs a helicopter and picks up Joaquin de la Media off the side. He's climbing up the side of a mountain, and it's just like
The dude that's on the mountain is like on a fucking mountain.
Yeah.
When they
Yeah.
go out to a long shot of it,
I'm
like
pretty sure
the
that's-
stuntman or
yeah.
whoever it is, you're
Yeah.
just like, holy shit, that guy is up there. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
then they have the helicopter picking him up, and he basically just hitches himself on and gets flown around, hanging
And then
30 yards beneath this helicopter.
and then they have well, I mean now it would be a GoPro shot, but it's literally like it's a camera shot from the dude harnessed to the bottom of the helicopter looking straight down.
So that's another thing too that this movie does, and it really kind of started in the skiing stuff. Is that there is a lot of really well done handheld camera work in this. Like cameras will, you think a camera is stationary, and then the camera will move with the characters into a confined space, like it's a character almost. And that happens 3 or 4 times in the movie. And like when there's certain stunts, the camera, they will make sure to get stunts to the camera so that it is part of it at some point. They had a guy on skis holding a camera following the chase, which in 1982 terms was probably hell a lot more difficult than it would be, any time later. Like we've seen awesome stunt photography and skiing sequences and stuff like that. But they weren't just using some, tiny camera to do that stuff with, and they were moving at a pretty good clip. So there's, again, it's one of the frustrating things is that there are just signs of life in this movie.
Right.
They're just constantly just like, maybe this is going to be where it all comes together. And then,
But the scene, I mean, this whole like sequence of like, because like everyone when they go pick him up is like, the office is calling or something
Yeah.
like that, and it's just like this has a very Mission Impossible style feel where it's like, we got to go get the team, and they're all off doing random extreme things,
yes.
But it's mostly soulless. Like it's so like, I mean, the Steve James Donnybrook thing aside, like most of it's just like, yep, we're here, and like it just doesn't fit. Like I can't put my finger on it. Like it feels dead.
Yeah.
Like it feels like you're almost like watching a unrelated nature documentary for about 30 seconds as they go pick up this dude. And it's like it's cool, and it's like they just hook this dude up, and he's hanging from the bottom of a helicopter, and then it's like first person shot from hanging, and then they're all just kind of together. It's like.
It's not like any of it matters. It's not like, the guy climbing the mountain, that's going to come in handy later.
I mean, most of this movie feels like second unit stuff. Like almost the entire movie feels like it was done by a second unit.
Yeah.
And McBain felt that way, too.
Yeah.
It did, yeah. And again, Ken Wall is barely in this movie,
Yeah.
and
Right.
this is an hour into it.
But they all kind of get together, and they're like, blah, 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 blah. We think this. Here's the plot.
And also the Mossad agent, we
Yeah.
didn't mention, but she had been introduced to Ken Wall right after, before,
Right.
like after he had busted into the Israeli,
Yeah, the embassy.
Yes.
embassy.
Yeah.
And then before Steve James had attacked him, and,
Right.
and he,
'cause
he had
she
had to
came in.
convince her that he was a good guy or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's kind of on the team now.
Sort of, yeah. But like,
so she's with them when they're playing.
yeah, because like they all get together, and she's there, and he's like, yeah, they're gonna blow this up, and it's like, all right, well, I'm in, and then they're like, they concoct this scheme that they don't even bother to explain to us, the audience.
Nope.
Because they're just like, hey, go to Virginia or
Kansas.
Kansas. They're like, you all go to Kansas. She and I are going to hang out here, and you'll know what to do if they blow up the oil fields.
Well, he's like, hold on a minute. And he goes to another
right,
room,
He pulls out the
brings in the nuclear football suitcase.
the alternate nuclear football.
and he's just like, a few years ago, Nixon was nutty and almost blew up the world. And so we took the football and did some wiring and some things, made sure the codes never changed, that we always have access to this, that we can stop or start whatever we need to do because that fucker was crazy. And
Right.
and they're all like, do the codes still work? And he's like, yeah, they do.
Yeah, I've hidden them. I put a spike in the wormhole.
Yeah, exactly.
in the
Yeah,
monitor
it's
and
blah
stuff,
blah
yeah.
blah. Technobabble. So everyone fucks off to Kansas except for Ken Wall and the Mossad lady,
Right.
and she's just like, "Well, here I am in the bed," and
Yeah,
he's
I
like,
get-
"Oh, you took the bed? Okay, I'll sleep on the couch." And she's like, "Don't be a fucking child.
Yeah, don't be ridiculous.
Fuck me."
She
And he's
basically
like,
says we could die tomorrow.
"Yeah,"
So.
and he's like, "Oh, all right, let's do that." And then this is the only time the movie cuts away from anything that was going to happen.
Yep.
It's like
It comes back to it briefly, but still
they've
nothing.
showered. They've had, like, he is having second thoughts out on the balcony, and she comes out of the shower and sits down on the bed, and he goes back in, and they just start up again, and then they cut away again.
Yeah,
So
but it's easier. Like, okay, this is the plan that they didn't bother to explain to us. So they got the whole team together, sat down for 30 seconds, apparently figured this out off screen. But they've sent everyone except for Ken Wall and the Mossad lady to Kansas to basically break into a nuclear silo.
yes,
And their plan is, if they bomb the fields, we're going to bomb Moscow.
yes,
And
we
That
literally
seems
know.
dumb,
We
maybe?
literally know none of that until
we don't,
the
until the last-
bargaining
yeah.
comes up, which is the last 4 minutes of the
Yeah,
movie.
Because,
but
like-
there is a full sequence of them taking out all the dudes involved, like with showing their key cards.
Yeah.
Well,
and
they go to
Oh,
a
God, it's
barn
so
first to
exhausting.
acquire the car
yeah.
and the gear that they need,
Yeah.
and then they leave there. They break into the thing. They thwart
they're
the
tranquilizing all these guys.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they show the whole like going to the guard gate outside and then going up to the thing, and the guy's got his hand on a panic button, and they get through that, and
Yeah.
then they're like trank dart, hog tie. You know, like
But I mean, they
do all
They
this
call
stuff.
like central command. They're like, you're going to lose the camera feeds here for a while. We're
Yep.
going to pull out some cables and switch some things. They're like, okay, and then
It plays out like the world's dullest heist.
yeah. Well, one, it plays out like that. Two, you don't know what they're doing.
right.
Like,
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
like they're presented with they present this suitcase of, we've got control of the nukes, and you're like, okay, well, they're just going to use that as some sort of remote thing. And then they go to Kansas, and you're like, why are they in Kansas? And then they break into the missile silo, and you're like, why are they doing that? And then it's just basically they're going to launch the nukes, and you're like, why the fuck are they doing that?
Yeah. And somewhere along the way, like I mean, there has been a ticking clock ever since the terrorists sent the letters.
Yeah, they gave them like 96 hours
Yeah,
to.
but like now we're down to like they're talking like 20 minutes, 15 minutes at this point, and Ken Wall and Mossad lady are just sitting in a Porsche in like Berlin.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there like waiting to cross the checkpoint Charlie into East Berlin, and then for whatever reason, embassy communications guy is standing there at checkpoint Charlie, and he's like, "Hey!"
yeah.
And immediately they're like, "Oh shit!" and peel out of there, and there's like another little mini chase. Now, granted, like at this point, they're like, it is 15 minutes until this shit is about to blow up, and they're having this weird little car chase. They drive around Berlin for a little bit, still being chased by the CIA communications dude and whatnot, or embassy communications. He's not even CIA.
Yeah.
And then like they round the corner, and somebody has taken a car carrier and parked it up alongside the.
Well, she says,
Take the
like
street or
their
something
plan was to just get through the checkpoint and go to the Russian embassy
Right.
that way.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, we set up
backup
a
plan.
backup plan, and then they come around this corner and stop, and she's like, yeah, Earl set that up.
Don't think his name's Earl, but yes.
You got to hit that at 85 miles per hour in third gear, and you'll clear it. We did the
Yeah.
calculations, and he's like, whatever.
Yeah.
He just kind of shrugs and goes, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And you see the guy who's there who set it up. He's standing there, like, real proud next to it, and just kind of gives him a salute, like, all yours, buddy.
Godspeed.
Hit that big ass ramp, Ken Wall.
Yeah.
Soldier Boy. And
So, all of us who have played GTA know where this is going.
yeah, he launches over the ramp, doesn't quite clear it. I mean, he does, but takes out a good chunk of the wall and fucks up that car forever.
That's
Oh.
right. The rest of it was going to go like 7 years later.
Yeah. The wall or the Porsche?
Both.
But yeah, they land, and the Russians all hut out there.
And
And
that
That car gets fucked
And
up.
the
when
dude,
they land.
like the Russian, the big bad of this movie,
Yes.
is just there. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, we knew you were going to be launching over right here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be standing right here. And then he, like, gets out of the truck all smarmy, you know,
Like,
like
we finally got you.
he's like, oh, and Ken Wall's like, I always want to see Moscow. And they're like, oh, so you're defecting and you're going to tell us everything. He's like, yeah, but like in 15 minutes, that's not going to be possible. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, we know you're behind the bomb, and if you don't call it off, we're going to nuke Moscow. And
Yep.
he's like, you're shitting me. And he's like, goes and makes a call, and then it fucking like cuts to people in the desert are parachuting in. They got red stars on their babushkas, and they fucking land and disarm the fucking bomb.
Red stars on their
The-
grandmothers?
I don't, whatever the fucking hats are.
And they're Baba Yagas.
Sure. Yes, the Baba Yagas.
On their chicken-legged house
Yes.
demon
Yeah.
witches?
And suddenly the perkiest guitar music kicks in. Like, okay, this is the finale of the movie.
Yeah.
But the music kicks in like this is the finale of the movie, and we're like, this can't be the finale of the movie. Nothing has happened yet.
It's the finale of the movie, though.
Yeah. So the Russians parachute in and just fling this nuclear barrel like off this pile and are just like, oh yeah, cut that wire. Okay, cool. And then it's just Ken Wall and the Mossad lady walking away as the camera pulls up, and he's just like, so we had sex or something, and she's like, yes.
Well, basically, when the Russian asked him if that was really happening, he said, "Well, maybe."
Yeah.
And
Oh,
she's like,
right.
"Why did you say maybe?" He's like, "That just seemed like the right thing to say at the time."
Yep. And it
And
turns
that's
out
it.
they're walking at the Statue of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've traveled from Russia to the United States and haven't talked about any of this until they got to the Statue of Liberty and then resumed having a conversation.
Yep. It's fucking stupid. I mean, the geography and timing and everything in this movie is fucking atrocious. Like, some of the worst I've ever seen in a movie, especially with, like, people in it that you've heard of.
Spatial awareness is not this
No.
movie's friend. It is. Never knew where we
No,
were.
it is like it is some of the worst
Even
timing and geography I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
even
in a
though
movie.
they put
Yeah.
timestamps.
Oh, I know. That
and,
makes it
and
worse
location
somehow.
stamps
Yeah.
on some scenes.
It makes it
but
more
not
confusing.
all of them.
No, it makes it more confusing because the times, as you pointed out, it's really bright for 5:45 a.m. in Philadelphia
Yes.
in the opening
Yeah.
shot. I mean, even with daylight savings time off or whatever the fuck makes it lighter earlier.
Yeah, 5:45 a.m. Like it looks like it's about 10
Yeah.
in the morning.
Yeah.
In that shot.
But yeah,
I still don't know where that scene of Steve James as Ninja attacking him takes place. No idea whatsoever.
I still think it's at the Israeli
gotta be.
consulate.
I think it's
Yeah.
at the
gotta be.
Israeli
I
consulate.
think
yeah.
I don't think he would have left because everyone was trying to murder him when he
Okay,
leaves.
so if it is at the embassy,
Uh-huh.
did they call Steve James and have him come in to attack him for funsies?
No.
Or did Steve James infiltrate?
I think yes.
But Steve James had no motivation to be there, except just to be like, hey, buddy, almost killed you with piano wire. What are you doing here at the Israeli embassy? It's just, that scene is so
He
baffling
may have
to
made
me.
a call, but they didn't show it. I don't know.
That's another thing that's frustrating because this movie shows everything else. Like, except for eating and shitting, this movie shows literally everything else these characters have ever done. Ugh.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But anyway, that movie's over.
Yeah.
And they show the credits in alphabetical order.
it's rare. Doesn't always happen.
It's annoying. Because I mean, characters don't even have names.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, maybe that was, I don't know.
At least give us order of appearance.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, alphabetical is hard to discern at the end to figure out who's who, but oh well. Anyway, movie's over.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can go or anyone else
Yeah,
can.
go for it.
Yeah.
As I said, it feels like almost everything in this movie is shot by a second unit, which means some of the stunt shit is really good.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is one of the messiest movies I've ever seen that was otherwise competently made. Like, there is, if they had a script supervisor, fire them and never let them work in Hollywood ever again.
Fire
because
them into the sun.
Because I mean, like, I feel like that's whose job it would have been to be like, hey, it doesn't make any sense that like you were standing in East Berlin and suddenly you're finishing the conversation on Liberty Island. Like, there's so much dumb shit in this that makes no sense. How they just teleport from place to place. this is one of the strangest movies I think we've ever watched in terms of like from moment to moment. There's like very Jocks-worthy moments happening in certain scenes, like that whole honky tonk Steve James thing is amazing. But I have to rate the movie on a whole, and I gotta go 3 bags. It's bad. Like, it's really, really bad, and it's boring. And I don't almost fall asleep in movies. I dozed off at least twice, almost 3 times, and that never happens. This movie's bad, with really good moments in it. Like, you could make a compilation thing that would be great, and you'd be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" But this movie is bad. Otherwise, like,
yeah, I mean, you
poorly
kind of have to
constructed.
take them as a whole. So,
Yeah.
and we've said that about plenty of movies where, like, if you took the best clips of this movie and put them in a YouTube, 5-minute video, you'd think that we're idiots for giving things bags.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm normally about the slow burn. I like things with a good slow burn, but like these are useless slow burns. It's like you slow burn to build tension or something. You don't slow burn just to be like, yep, they're piloting that boat all the way into the harbor. Oh, yep, that truck is driving all the way down the street.
Yeah.
Or these guys are going all the way into the missile silo. Like, that's not how you build suspense at all. That's how you make me fall asleep, and I never do in movies. So, yeah.
I'll go. Like you guys were saying, I could take 10 things in this movie, make a 2-minute video, and people would think, my God, that must be the greatest movie of all time.
Well, I mean, that's what Shakedown did for us.
Yeah.
They showed the 360-degree spin with him machine gunning a dude. And you're
Yes.
like,
But
all
yeah,
right,
what's
we
this
have
movie?
to watch this movie.
Yeah, what's the IMDb trivia?
And, I mean, there are 4 or 5 other scenes that you could clip out and just show it, like jumping the wall or the bar fight or, the just various things throughout this you could show to someone and go, wow, that movie must be amazing. But as a whole, it makes those things kind of suck because there is, just scene after scene of the entire process of whatever is happening in that scene. And it's so unnecessary. And this is not a long movie. This is a 96-minute movie that feels like it needs 30 minutes cut out of it. And
Actually, I think it was an 86-minute movie.
well, the IMDb says that. The back of it says something else.
Does it?
So
Okay.
I'm not sure if this was restored, which if it
Oh.
was, Christ, you should have left it not restored. But like Ken Wall as a hero in this is in this movie for what feels like 4 minutes and has no character whatsoever. He feels like he's fresh out of college, and yet he's got this history of the most important shit in the world. But he never really comes across as like, I'm a cool badass who does all sorts of neat things. It's just like, yeah, me and my boys have machine guns and we will shoot you at times.
And he's got a dumb accent.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, his just manner of speaking does not instill confidence or
No,
coolness
he
or
doesn't
anything.
seem cool or suave or anything like that. He just seems like a meathead. And I just didn't buy him as this dude. You've got who should be the bad guy, Klaus Kinski, who's in this for 45 seconds. You've got the main bad guy who does literally nothing the entire time. It's as far as like characterization goes, there's none. There's zero. It's just, here's the plot, some dudes are going to do some stuff, and then the movie will end. But it's not even in a cool way that you can like make your own stories about the characters or anything like that, or do any, you can't fill in the blanks, even though there's plenty of time in the movie for you to be able to do that. So I like the stunts. I like some of the camera work. I like a lot of things this movie does. But as a whole, I can't recommend it. I can't tell anyone you got to see The Soldier. So I'm not as angry. It didn't bags me out as much as it did you.
Oh my God, backs me out.
So I'm gonna give it 1 bag. That is just, don't watch this. It's frustrating because it's a waste. It's an era we like. It has every chance for potential of just this amazing gem that's been lost to time, and it's not. I mean, this movie is kind of unknown for a reason.
Yeah. Because it's dull.
Yep.
It sucks. It's. I don't even want to be like nearly as generous as Chuck, because it's obvious there's not like a strong vision. This movie, I think, was set up for failure from the beginning. There's no like. It just ambles here and there. It ambles from scene to scene, just kind of like. Just strolling down the street, like, oh, well, there's a scene. I'll just stop in there and stand here for way too long. And all right, well, I guess there's another scene a little bit down the road. I guess I'll walk over there and see what's going on. Okay. And eventually, you know, like a fucking sweet motorbike rides by, and you're like, cool, all right, great. And then it wanders into another fucking boring scene.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they thought they were doing here. Like,
every description for this movie seems to be, oh, they wanted to make an American James Bond thing. And aside from like the globe hopping stuff, there ain't none of that.
There's nothing James Bond about this. Like, there's not a suave, cool dude.
Nope.
There's just, you know,
there's not a charismatic villain.
Dumpy guy. Yeah, no charismatic villain. There's no, like, even the bad guy's plot is just, we're going to blow something up. We're going to blow up the oil.
Also, why would the Russians want the Israelis out of the West? I can't figure that out. Was there some...
Did they have some untapped oil reserve they were going to claim, like, we have all the oil now? Or
I mean, I know there was, like, Russian-backed things like, you know, Afghanistan and all that bullshit. But I mean, like, I don't understand, like, their motivation for going after Israel.
In terms of 80s politics, it's... In the most simplified way, it's the Americans are supporting the Israelis, so we don't support the
Yeah, we're going to fuck them by giving them a gas crisis.
Yeah, that's basically,
I guess. Yeah.
You know, and it's not even understanding. That's 80s view of, okay, well, Russians just do things because
right.
They don't like, yeah.
There was just so much nobody knew back then about what was actually going on.
Yeah, it's like someone heard something on the news about how, you know, they want the Israelis out of the West Bank, and then that becomes, all right, well, we're writing a movie about that, but we don't know how to do research, so, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas now, at least, people have Wikipedia, so they can go, wow, let's look at what some dumbass wrote about this.
Right.
You know. But anyway.
Other than how, like, unfathomably boring this movie is, there are a couple good things that... Like Chuck said, there's some nicely shot things. The ski chase is pretty good. That Porsche stunt is pretty nice. I like that. Except for the fact that car got just fucked. Absolutely fucked.
It was a disgrace.
It was. It's a beautiful car, and it got ruined.
Yep.
For this shitty movie. I cannot tolerate or recommend this movie. 3 bags, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, for the first hour, I was... Well, not hour, I shouldn't say that, but like for the first 45 minutes, I was like kind of on board with this, despite all of the slow, boring pacing. I was like... And maybe it's just because it reminded me so much of... as if it existed in the Dawn of the Dead universe somehow, because of some of the shots, like the one where he's waiting for the fax machine, for some reason just felt like it came right out of that movie for some reason. And a lot of the blood squibs and like that thick paint tempera red blood that they use.
Yeah, it was before Hollywood knew what blood looked like.
Yeah, and just those really violent squibs and just that sort of stuff. And I'm just kind of like, all right, I think I can tough this out. At least this is interesting me. But, you know, you think about, he gets in that car when he breaks out of the consulate, and he gets in this shitty little Honda Accord or whatever the fuck it is from
Fiesta.
1982. Was that what it was?
Yeah, it was a Ford Fiesta.
Yeah, Ford Fiesta from 82. And you think about, like, James Bond driving that car in For Your Eyes Only, where it's like, yeah, give him a shitty car and he'll fucking tear it up anyway.
Yep.
And you're like, all right, here we go. And you just think about, I mean, I know the James Bond movies had a lot more budget, but even then, like, that chase is fucking awesome in For Your Eyes Only. And this one is like, it should have the same sort of setup. And it's just guys going down a couple streets and down a couple alleys. And maybe he looks in the rear view and sees cars back there a couple times. And then he revs up and rams a gate. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
every scene seems to be like this setup for, an awesome opportunity. And that's, I think, why we latched onto the Steve James scene so much, is because it's like, all right, you have a setup and you fucking paid it off.
Yeah.
Whereas everything else is a setup that does not pay off. Even the jump over the Berlin Wall does not pay off in the way that it feels like it should.
Yeah. I mean, and it's also MGM. So, like, if they were chasing James Bond, they've done it before.
I think MGM is just where it ended up.
Oh, is that what it is?
They have the
yeah,
library.
it wasn't.
It wasn't
it's
originally?
Embassy Pictures. It's
Yeah, Embassy.
Oh,
that's right.
okay.
Yeah, but it's man, I feel bad. I'm gonna agree with Chuck in that it's a single bag, and I want to give it jocks so bad just for that one scene with Steve James, and for the fact that it's Steve James in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's almost nonsensical, and it's just like a combination of scenes that should be more interesting than they are.
I honestly was sitting at a Jocks until the finale just farted out, where it was just like they have a 2-sentence conversation and then you just see the missile silo closing up again. You're like, wait, is this over?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
nothing happened.
It honestly, that also reminds me of For Your Eyes Only. It ends with just basically this conversation on a cliff.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, well, we're going our separate ways now, and it kind of like it pays off a lot more in For Your Eyes Only, but here it's just kind of like, yeah, it just fizzles out because everything that actually happens somewhere else from the actual confrontation, and it doesn't work. It's very frustrating, but yeah, it feels like it deserves to be lost.
Just preserve those 3 or 4 minutes of film that are actually interesting from this movie, and
Keep putting those in other movies.
right.
And let the legend of this movie build.
Don't.
No, but I mean, don't take the
hide it
movie away.
Yes.
Well, it feels like one that you could remake and be like, yeah,
Yeah.
because there's so much potential here, and none of it is paid off.
Yeah.
And those are the types of movies that should be remade, or the ones where like, yeah, they just didn't get it right, but the core there should be awesome.
I mean,
feel like it's just
all the time wasted on these establishing shots. Like, have the characters talk a little.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Set
How
up
about
some
you
things.
develop
I feel
some sort
like
of personality.
How about the bad guy say his name?
Yeah.
Like, what's your name, sir?
The soldier. I feel
Not
like the only
soldier.
the only real potential is in scenes. I don't feel like the movie itself, like,
It just
I don't know,
It didn't
it's-
bother.
yeah, it's just kind of a mess. Like, even plot wise, it's just kind of lazy. So,
Oh, the bad guy's name was Ivan.
ooh, so you can't
Oh,
like
was he Russian?
you can't even
he seemed
hardly
like, he was
like
pretty laid back.
you can't even hardly like remake this and do anything necessarily interesting with it unless you just take those scenes that could have been cool and make them kind of cool. You still have a mess of a movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is one I don't feel like it's redeemable. This whole thing, like it's not so bad that I'm mad at it. It's just
It's one of the sloppiest movies I've seen in a long time. But anyway, I think we talked enough about it. Let's take a break, shall we?
okie dokie. Did you get a ticket for tomorrow?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and before I forget, I'm gonna buy a ticket and I will buy one for you as well.
You guys have to pay to get in to watch a movie.
I guess so.
Weird. Weird.
They got to make their money back, man.
I guess.
I have a work outing to a comedy club. Yep. But they told me it was clean comedy. So me and the other guy were immediately like, I only watch dirty comedy.
I'm sorry, clean comedy offends me.
Yeah.
It offends my not delicate sensibilities.
I was so proud of myself that I beat him to the joke. Because I was like, you had me till you said clean. And then the other guy's like, God damn it, you. He was ticked at me for getting to the punchline before he could get there. I was like, that's right. Don't mess with the maestro.
Is that you?
That's me.
Oh, okay.
I'm the maestro.
Oh, all right. I wasn't
No,
sure.
not really. Anyway, does anybody else have anything second half? You had something second half. Have you figured out how to discuss it?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah,
I guess.
Not as sloppy.
BJ, you got anything?
I do not.
Okay, Chuck. Wow, that was so. That was, oh, how dare you even ask me, you fuck?
How dare you? Of course you know this means war.
I said good day, sir.
I said good day.
So, have you guys watched your Who episode yet?
No.
No.
You mean
I watched the first half last night.
first half of the first episode.
No, I've watched the first episode.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
is
Now
this a two-parter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck!
Yeah, I know.
We may need to push it.
Push it real good.
Yeah, that's right. If you guys have got stuff going on tomorrow night,
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't know when he's gonna have 2
Yeah.
hours to watch it.
I'm probably gonna have to watch it once I get home tomorrow night.
Oh, him? You're worried about
you.
him?
I'm worried about you.
Oh, me. Fuck, don't worry.
Don't you worry about him, man.
Okay.
He'll stay up till 3 watching that shit. He'll watch it tonight.
Well, we're not going to the fucking thing until 9 o'clock now, so.
Oh.
Yeah, the 7 p.m. showing sold out like immediately.
Really?
So,
Aw.
yeah,
Cool.
that's cool. Yeah,
Aw.
I mean, there are what 8? I think there are 8 teams, and everybody's probably got at least 5 people. So that theater's full with
Sure.
just
Yeah,
those-
is it the smaller
it-
of the two theaters,
Is
too?
it Sunray?
I don't know. Yeah, it's at Sunray.
Yeah.
Last time they showed it in the main theater. So
Well, cool.
Well, ain't nobody going to see Solo, so they might as well put it in the main one.
I think they might have already stopped showing Solo.
I don't think they have.
Oh no, they're still showing it.
I'm gonna need to.
7 p.m. showing of Solo is sold out. So
I need to do that this weekend before it goes away.
Yeah. Well, good news is it'll be on Blu-ray real quick.
They will it? Because
Yeah.
they still usually drag that out.
Last Jedi came out on Blu-ray
Did it?
quick.
Okay.
Like I think by end of February it was on Bluray.
Yeah. Well, it was end of February. It was digital,
I mean,
and then it's a couple weeks later they do the Blu-ray.
You should see it just because it's good.
I know.
That's
So
why I want to
I
see
want-
it.
I
should
want
go see
to.
it, yeah.
I want to. I also.
I mean, I'm
I
not
would-
shitting on it to shit on it. I'm saying like it's
I want-
it's sad to me that it's
Right.
nobody
I want
seeing
to
it.
see the movie.
Where's Batman?
It's a marketing. I was born in the Solo. You merely adopted it. I didn't see the Star Wars until I was already a man. And by then it was blinding.
Oh, Deckard Cain. So, should we do a second half?
Yes, brother. All right.
Oh,
Batman.
I forgot Tag
Bruce
comes out this
Wayne.
weekend.
I kind of want to see that.
Jen's dying to see it.
I don't mind that movie.
I don't mind that movie.
That movie, there just hasn't been
But
like.
if I have the choice between seeing that and knowing that Solo will be
Oh, well,
gone
sure.
the next week,
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I might have to do a double header. Just be like, I'm going to watch Solo. Come meet me at the theater for Tag after that.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, clack it.
Clack, clack.
Clack-a-lacka.
For old time's sake. All right, and welcome back.
Hey,
BMFcast.
Second half.
half number 2.
All right.
This is where we talk about other things.
Loaded with other things.
I saw another thing.
Oh, yeah?
What?
Yeah.
Did you see the #1 movie in America?
I don't know what that is. I saw Ocean's 8.
That's it.
It is? It's the
Yeah.
number one movie in America?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
It deserves it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie's good.
Oh well. Okay.
I was kind of shocked because I was like, man, Gary Ross is directing this, huh? Well, then. And I didn't know he had a movie like this in him. It is a worthy sequel.
Please,
And it is most definitely a sequel. It is very much, it's not like, we're just ignoring all. Like, they
It's in that universe.
very directly reference Danny Ocean.
Okay.
Was it
is-
somebody's brother?
Yes, Sandra Bullock is
Somebody's.
George Clooney's sister in this movie.
Danielle Ocean.
Debbie. Deborah Ocean. Well, they only call her Debbie.
Before we get too far in, can you please explain to me who a Gary Ross is and why?
He made like Seabiscuit and Pleasantville and one of the Hunger Games and just like I've never enjoyed any of his movies.
Pleasantville's a good movie.
No. I don't like Pleasantville at all.
Okay.
I think it's cloying and dull.
Yeah. Break out of your funk by sex and violence, and that'll make the world colorful.
It's-
yeah. Chuck, have you tried it?
Yeah.
Little bit.
Anyway, I am not a fan of his. I don't.
Okay.
I think he makes watered down, generic ass movies.
All right.
Which this is a only barely slightly watered down Ocean's movie. Like it is, there's not the flair that a Soderbergh is going to bring to these things. But I mean, the cast is all really great. The caper actually works really well and had some really good surprises in it. I think the only issue is that it's one of those cases of whenever there's any roadblocks that come up for the crew, they're solved in like 30 seconds.
Oh.
Or like somebody's like, oh, I know someone I can call, and that's fixed. It's not like, oh, fuck, what are we going to do? How are they going to get out of this? It's like, don't even worry about that. So it's kind of like, I guess it is a lot like Ocean's 11, where it was like, this is a parents' movie that's not insulting to me. Because I'm like, I really, like, I feel that Ocean's 11 is like one of the best popcorn movies of all time. Like, I think just everything about that movie just works, and it's not challenging in any way. It's just a crowd pleaser. Hey, have fun with this. You're going to be entertained, and this is just going to be fun.
Right.
And I think Ocean's 11 is like the top of the pile for that sort of movie. And this one is like right there. Like, this is probably, I would say this is the second best Ocean's movie.
Okay.
I don't even remember 13, and a lot of people hate 12, but I actually like quite a lot of 12. But at least there's nothing as painful as that Julia Roberts scene with Bruce Willis.
God, I hate that scene.
Yeah. But there are a lot of welcome surprises. The cast is really good, and it's really strange in that James Corden is in this, and the movie doesn't get funny until he shows up in like the third act, and then all of a sudden it's like, and it's not even him. It's like other characters, but it's suddenly like joke, and their work. Whereas the other ones were just like early on, you're like, okay, like, oh, that was clever. You're not like actually laughing at jokes,
Right.
Whereas suddenly, like, the whole audience came alive once like that sequence with him shows up in the movie. It's very strange. But it was good enough to not be ruined by the lady who sat next to me for the movie.
Go on.
Oh, she's just one of those old ladies with no inner monologue.
Oh.
So it's like, oh, her. Like when someone shows up, that one, she's like, she was in that funny office show with that crazy boss. It's like, yeah, that was Mindy Kaling. We fucking get it, lady. But like she just like
That
I will
funny office show.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, The Office. That's the funny office show you're thinking of. Yeah, lady. This is why it's like because we went to the theater that doesn't have assigned seating and has like the old ass, like, hey, here's a fucking folding chair you can sit in.
Yes. That is the one thing that new theaters have made abundantly clear, is that movie theaters used to just suck on toast. They were just the worst of everything. Just bleacher seats and garbage.
Yep.
Just everything was pure
Like, we didn't
shit.
even used to have stadium seating.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
used to be like, here's a flat line. If the guy in front of you is wearing a hat, you're fucked.
Or they do the staggered seating, and then that guy would be like, the guy in front of you just be like gangster leaned over, like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck you. Like, that's my one shot to
Yeah.
the screen.
I have a
Yeah.
little window here, and you're fucking leaning into
Yeah,
it.
yeah, but the Regal in town, man, that theater sucks. But yeah, no assigned seating, so it was weird just having a lady suddenly like climb in and be like, "Is anyone sitting here?" And it's like, you better fucking not be, lady. Yeah, but that's why I like big ass recliners where it's like the other person is like a few feet away.
Yeah.
So even if they have an internal monologue, you don't necessarily hear it. Whereas this lady,
Yeah,
Was she talking to anyone?
no,
Okay.
just herself.
Was she with anyone? Did she show up?
There was a friend
Okay.
next to her, but I know she wasn't leaning over. It wasn't like she was going, hey, that's Anne Hathaway. Like she wasn't doing that.
I think she was married to Shakespeare.
Yeah, but like the trailer for A Star Is Born came on before the movie, and she's like, oh, that had Barbara in the original. It's like,
okay, all
yeah,
right.
it did. It had
Oh, my
Barbara.
God.
Wait, they remade that?
Oh yeah, with Lady Gaga. and Matthew McConaughey. Or wait, no, not Matthew
Bradley
McConaughey.
Cooper?
Bradley Cooper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I mean, I will say like the big giant like plush things where you have like the big drop off between each row.
Yeah.
Like man, that is made where you can't hear the people behind you at all.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, you get a
glorious.
theater with decent volume and that much space between the seats. I'm like, y'all can talk. I don't care. I'm not going to hear you. You're so far away, and this movie
know.
is booming.
Yeah. But
So,
but that's how much I enjoyed this movie is that I was able to, and you know, and I honestly kind of went in being like, man, are we gonna have to go see this? But it won me over. I'm a sucker for heist movies, and this is a well-made heist movie. And even the guy who was not David Holmes did a decent enough David Holmes impersonation with the music. So I would recommend it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's not going to change your life, but it is a really good heist movie with some cool ladies doing cool shit.
Yeah. Did anyone do the math if there's like a pay gap joke to be made there? That like how much percentage wise less than 8 is?
oh,
You know.
Yeah.
I get it.
No, I'm just wondering. I mean,
Well, let's just say what they pull off works.
yeah.
Even they got a pay raise.
Oh well, I just
through
meant
their
like
heist.
it feels like they should have just gone on and been like, yeah, it's Ocean's 14, except with ladies now. I don't
No,
know.
but it always
Well-
referred to the number of people in the heist. So
Right, I know.
Right, but he's
we don't need
he's working on a
14
joke.
people. No.
I'm not
I
working on a
get it.
joke. I'm saying like it feels weird to be like, I mean, except unless you want to go with the angle of like ladies don't need as many people to pull off cool shit, then I will take it.
They don't. And I like also that they don't basically have like, all right, this one's the Brad Pitt in this movie.
Right.
This one's the Matt Damon. You know, they're like all very distinct.
Yeah, okay.
They all have their distinct skills that aren't just like, all right, well, we needed that person because they're like that person in the other movie. You know, kind of like whatever the Jeremy Renner Bourne movie was. It's not a good movie, but at least it's not just like, all right, we plugged in this person instead of this person, and they're basically playing the same character except they're a different character. You know, they didn't do any of that, so
Okay.
I like it. It's a solid movie.
Well, speaking of movies with ladies doing stuff,
Yeah.
I saw one too. I watched Yo Tanya, or I Tanya
I,
for
Tanya.
English speaking people.
Oh, and just real quick.
Oh, shit.
Sorry.
All right.
Oh, shit.
Real quick.
Okay.
Just because you're saying ladies do stuff now,
Mhm.
don't read user reviews of fucking Ocean's 8 because it's all full of fucking crybaby asshole.
Oh, right.
idiots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's fucking depressing.
I'll just amend that to don't read user reviews.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's goddamn depressing.
Just listen to us.
User
Let's move
reviews.
on.
User reviews are the new comment section of the internet.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah.
So anyway, Yo Tanya.
Yeah, Yo Tanya. I don't know if I said this when you talked about having watched it, Chuck, but
I did.
man, like there was one phrase that was said when this movie came out that was like, "Oh fuck, I actually have to see this now," because on paper, I couldn't think of a movie I would want to see less than this movie because I don't give two shits about figure skating.
Right.
I give barely a shit about the Olympics in general, and even less about whatever the fuck convoluted hillbilly bullshit thing was going on with this thing. Like, you know, this, as the movie kind of points out, is like when the world started with like, you know, hard copy, you know, trashy pulp journalism bullshit, you know, like, you know, just sensationalistic journalism.
There was literally nothing going on, and we seized upon the dumbest fucking shit.
Right. And that's what I mean. It's like, so on paper, I was like, you'd be hard pressed to find something that I could want to watch as a movie less. And then someone was like, hey, it's like Goodfellas, but with figure skating. And I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you just said a word that made me have to see that movie. And honestly, that is the most accurate review I could possibly think of, because everything about this movie, subject matter wise, I couldn't care less. However, the movie is fantastic. Like, it is shot super interestingly. Everyone is doing what they need to be doing for their parts. I mean, that doesn't make them likable people, but neither are most of the people in Goodfellas.
Right.
It's just one of those kind of things. It's like, it is a masterfully directed movie about horrible people doing horrible things in a situation that I otherwise couldn't. I just couldn't be bothered to care about.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what you said. I don't know that I'll ever be watching this movie again. Like Goodfellas to me, I mean, obviously it's Scorsese, so it's a whole different level of like rewatchability. I don't see myself necessarily. I mean, maybe 10 years from now, I might be like, yeah, I'll watch that again. That was pretty good, right?
Someone will remind you that
yeah.
it's Goodfellas, and you'll go, "Oh, right,
yeah. Maybe I'll see what that was about again."
Right.
I think the strangest thing about it, and the only thing that was weird to me, and I'm wondering if I'm out of anyone that's seen it, because we have listeners and will tell us with correspondence. Am I the only one that really noticed that when they were obviously CGing Margot Robbie doing like twirls on skates and stuff, it seemed like they were blending in real Tonya Harding footage. Like, it feel like that was like the time when her face morphed and looked like real Tonya Harding.
I don't know.
Does
how much
that
of
make sense?
Yeah, it does. I don't know.
Because I mean,
I could certainly tell when they were CGing it, but
sure. I'm saying like it's weird because like I mean especially when they show you at the end of the movie like who played everybody. She's the one that looks the least like the person.
Right.
Like I feel like everyone else they did pretty well in casting.
Yeah.
Especially Allison Janney.
Yeah.
But like, when you watch the actual footage, it was like I'd honestly kind of forgotten what Tonya Harding looked like because I barely cared at the time, and I certainly haven't cared in the 20-something years since.
No, why would you?
So it was like, oh, but then like it just really looked like her face morphed when she was like twirling, like when they were throwing in some like CG stuff of her. It was weird.
Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, it's one of those things like it's a masterfully made movie for a thing that I just wouldn't normally care about. That's a really weird thing to say. Like, yeah. I mean, I definitely think it's worth watching. And man, like, I don't know if there have ever been stupider people that have ever come up with a plot ever.
People when I talked about this on the show and said out loud, this is the stupidest plot, like crime plot I've ever seen. And
I mean, it's like Logan Lucky, watching this and Logan Lucky back to back would be a great double feature because like it's like holy shit. Except like Logan Lucky, they kind of worked for them somewhat. Like just I'm saying those two movies back to back would be a great double feature.
Yeah.
But yeah, like showing the interviews with them at the end, I was like, holy shit, that scene was actually real. Like when
he was claiming
I've counter-terrorist special trained and all this stuff, and it was like, no, you're not, sir.
on television.
Yeah. No, you're not, sir.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I've written articles.
I think it was in like a travel magazine.
Truth is stranger than fiction.
Was that Jeff Galooly?
No, that's his Sean
his
whatever.
dipshit.
Oh yeah, the other guy.
God, I can't state enough how stupid their crime plot is and how badly they fuck it up. It is unbelievably stupid.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing that happened.
Yeah.
Like somebody couldn't beat someone else to get into the Olympics. So they literally
So they
clubbed them
kneecapped her.
in the knee
Well, again,
to
and
prevent them from competing.
I will say the thing that I find
And
most
it didn't work.
I will say the thing I found most fascinating about this was that at no point in time does it really 100% take a side.
No.
I mean, it's like everything about it is like fill in the blanks. Like, did she know about it? Did he know about it? Did this person know about it? Like,
It teeters back and forth to where like they will have a character go on this long rant of this is what happened, and then they will immediately cut to the other person and go, no, none of that happened.
yeah, or like invalidate it by them something they say. There are lots of little clues in this in their dialogue.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, I mean, it's man, what a shitty life. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, and I think the most fascinating thing about it is like how close this plays to like child pageantry bullshit, which makes. I mean, I'm not trying to invalidate true athleticism in the Olympics and everything, but like to me, I don't understand how you can call something a sport when it's based on somebody going, yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not a fucking... Like, sports should be rules, play, finish.
It's all
like,
arbitrary judging.
yeah, this is all like, no, you trolled better than her.
Yeah. And it's usually there's usually some weird arbitrary bias in there.
Right, that's what I mean. It's like, that's like I just feel like shit like that should be taken out. Like, America's Got Talent isn't a fucking Olympic sport. Like
Right.
There are a lot of technical grades in figure skating.
Yeah, but this also goes to great lengths of like, you're not the person that we want. You're not what we think should be representing America. So fuck you, even if you did it
We're
better.
not going to give you the high scores that you so clearly deserved because you're trash.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, it just there's a lot of like interesting like. I feel like shit like figure skating is something that we're gonna look back in 100 years and be like, we fucking did that. Like that was a thing, and we thought it was a sport. Fuck that.
Yeah.
It's just like Miss America and pageantry in general. It's like. In enough time, we're going to look at this and be like, what the fuck were we thinking?
We're coming around on that.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, it very much mirrors all of those kind of things you see about the obsessive, crazy mothers and, living out their failed childhood and through their daughters and shit like that. It's like there's a lot of that in it too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a super unpleasant movie that is kind of fascinating to watch, but like, I don't know if I'd do it again.
Yeah. You're exactly right.
Yep. Anywho.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Nobody else got nothing.
It's one of those weeks, man.
Yeah, I mean the second season of The Toys That Made Us showed up on Netflix. I started watching that.
Yep.
It's the same show.
Yep.
Like it's not like they have changed anything.
I watched the Star Trek and just Transformers or one and then I was like, was it My Little Pony and Lego?
Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty and Lego, and I was just like, that's how you're gonna end it.
Yeah.
Like I haven't forced myself to watch either of those because I don't care.
I should watch the Transformers one.
You should.
You should, definitely.
See how many of them I own.
Mm.
How many of them I sold that are probably in that documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got any
Yeah.
correspondences?
Speaking of that, only because we're talking about Transformers, twice this weekend. I don't think I'd ever in my lifetime seen a Unicron figure.
Oh right, yeah.
I saw two this
Oh,
weekend.
I have one.
You have one? Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever seen one or noticed.
Like in the
that.
wild.
Yeah, out in the wild, two of them this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sweet figure. It's
Yep.
basically the only good one from the Armada line. Was the Unicron.
Yeah, and each time it was like, is that you? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
So weird.
Yep. But yeah, no. It's the dog days of summer, man.
It sure is.
We should be watching more movies, but you guys were off playing pinball and shit. So
We were.
Yeah, we did.
We had a great time.
I'm glad to hear it.
Anybody write us or send us anything?
Nah.
Okay.
I think we got a couple things, but we'll save them for next time.
Okay.
I'm not in the mood.
Well,
all right.
Mailbox is locked, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry.
Don't bother writing.
Hey, no, you can write. I'll be in the mood next week.
When we have 300 things to talk about, we'll all have
I'm
been
I'm gonna save them up like a male camel.
a male camel.
Just-
Is
just
that
hang on to it.
M-A-I-L?
Like
Like,
IL.
like a U.S. mail camel, or
Yeah. Yeah, you got to store it up in your hump, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, now it's time. And then the hump bursts up, and there's mail.
Yeah, and then you spit.
yeah, that
spit.
pretty much describes it. The humper stuff.
That is our mail process here.
Yeah, we're like a camel, double humping to please.
Yes, all of those things.
I believe that's true.
But if you want to fill up the hump, how would they do that, BJ?
I don't know if I want to participate in this, but
yeah, you do. Get in here.
BMF at
Fill up that
BMFcast.com,
mail hump.
9105-JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263. Or
Let's
go to the
just-
website and click on all the buttons and get humped.
Yeah, click on our humps. Our
Yeah.
humps. Our
Lovely
lovely
BMFcast
Bamf
humps.
Let's just call the mail corner that now. The mail hump.
Mail hump.
We usually do it on Wednesday, so, you know. Hump day.
On hump
day.
hump day.
Now we've been sued.
By who?
Whoever the hump
No
day
one owns
people
that.
Nobody owns the hump
We-
day.
did it in a manner reflective of that.
It's fair use.
Of what?
Of the Geico commercial?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
What?
Podcasting is so easy, even a caveman can do it.
Oh.
See, now we're going to get fucking sued.
Now
Thanks. Good job.
Call 910-5-JOCKS-BMF to save 15% on your podcast.
And, yes, they will. They actually will.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're on Patreon. And then
Well, you
no,
can
full
increase
price
your,
on
yeah.
Patreon.
You can increase your spending on podcasts if you go to patreon.com/BMFcast and give us your money.
And get things in return.
Yes.
Always got to add that disclaimer. Bonus podcasts, early access shows,
Oh my god, so much stuff.
exclusive Discord area, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you should get in the exclusive Discord area.
The Swanky Discord Lounge.
Yeah.
Swanky Patron Lounge.
Good in
Discord.
there.
And one day, our upgrade will show up. One day.
The thing that we've
The
been
thing we
teasing
have
for
teased.
65 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I switched jobs. I could no longer work on the
I know.
thing.
I know.
But I think I have some methods to add to that.
Excellent.
So anyway. Yep. So there you go.
Cool.
Well, let's get out of here, shall we?
Let's.
Okay.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is BMFcast out. See you next week. Give us money. Patreon.com/BMFcast.
Yes. All those things.
Hello.
That was subtle, right?
It was pretty
Sliding that in
Yeah.
at the end there.
Hello. If you like what we're doing, go on over to patreon.com/BMFcast.
Oh, I forgot we need to do those.
I was just gonna say
We need
that's,
to- no,
that's
no.
why I wasn't laughing into the mic.
No,
'cause-
we need to do something for real. We need to do something.
I know.
It'll be a record.
You merely donated to the Patreon.
Donate to the Patreon
I was already a
man.
We were born in the Patreon.
Molded by it.
Yeah. If either of you have got one,
Stay a while in Patreon.
do it because I have a feeling people are about to riot against Mackie's intro.
Oh, wait, you should keep running that one.
I alternate between yours and mine. Mine's straightforward. Yours
is,
do you like Imagine Dragon? And Imagine dragging yourself over to Patreon.com.
It's a good bumper,
It is, absolutely.
but it's overused now, so it's no longer a good bumper. I can accept this. You're just over there fucking baning out. You're like, "Roar."
It's a reckoning, Gotham.
I'm gonna have to leave.
It'll be
I'm
Gotham's
gonna ruin all your
reckoning.
bumpers if I stay.
Bruce Wayne. I am Bane. Bruce Wayne.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
is everyone gonna be good for Thursday for recording Who?
Probably.
If you guys are, I'll watch them both tomorrow night.
Ah, watch him. I'm not going. We're not going to the movie until like a 9 o'clock show.
You are in a mood today.
I'm in a fucking.
You're in a mood
today. Mood, brother. Your sacrifice will be noted.
Noted will your sacrifice be.
Your Patreon sacrifice will be noted. Nothing like a 6-year-old reference, huh?
Yes.
They say the best things in life are free, but that's wrong. Give us your goddamn money. Patreon.com/BMFcast.
You gotta go to the Sean Connery.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't want to do the Bane voice, but I still wanted to do a voice like that.
Hey.
They say the best things in life are free, but that's not true. Go to patreon.com/BMFcast and give us your goddamn money. Podcasts aren't cheap.
Well, there's one. Give us your goddamn money.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Yeah. Yay!
That way he'll know that you'll look
Was that good? Self high five.
look for the spike. You know.
Yeah, I always look for the spike.
Yeah. Are we still on the
Yeah, you
internet?
put the spike in the monitor. Plug the wormhole.
Spike the plug in the worm monitor to hold the plug space.
Yes, we're still online.
Oh my God.
That was all live.
Free,
Yeah, shit.
even though it's free.
We spoiled it though
Yeah, we did.
for the audience that's still hanging on.
Well, if someone makes it into this, they deserve what they get, which is bonus shit.
Bonus horseshit.
shit.
Stupid horseshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll do one next week. I'll think of something between now and then. For reals this time.
Reels?
I said I was going to do it last time, and I didn't.
They say that money can't buy happiness, but that's untrue. Go to patreon.com/BMFcast and get your slice of the good life.
Lame. First one was better.
Whatever. Eat my butt.
Give us your.
How much is that?
I shut the door and I just hear people going,
That's our podcast.
Because he like self high fived himself. Was that good? Yeah.
I clapped so that Chuck would have reference.
Reference levels.
Reference.
Reference.
All right.
Check out this.
Have fun at the film thing.
All
Thank you.
right.
See you on Thursday.
All right.
We're reckoning we will.
They say money can't buy happiness, but you can sure as shit rent it. Go to patreon.com/BMFcast and take some home today.
Take some home.
Yes.
What are we taking home? Happiness?
Happiness.
Yeah. High five. Woo! Fucking nailed it.
Oh my god.
That one was good. Eat my ass.
Sounds good too.
Hey, y'all. Would you like to eat my ass? Go on over to patreon.com/BMFcast. Nope.
The two things all the cool kids are doing in 2018 are eating ass and donating to Patreon. Go to patreon.com.
Hey, kids. You know what's cool? Patreon.com/BMFcast and anal lingus. So come head on over and lap up our tunnel of love.
Oh, no. And no.
All right. I'm going to shut this down. Shut it all down.
Put your money tongue in our wallet buttholes at patreon.com.
What the fuck is happening? I'm losing consciousness.
I made Chuck run out of the room twice. I win.
If you're still recording, have him say that one again.
Really?
Yes. It's still recording. Put your money tongue.
Did I say Patreon buttholes or wallet buttholes?
I think you said wallet buttholes.
Hey everybody, it's 2018. So put your money tongues in our wallet buttholes at patreon.com/man, I fucked it up.
I was straight facing it.
Hey everybody, it's 2018. So be like the cool kids and put your money tongues in our wallet buttholes at patreon.com/BMFcast.
Just do that at the Patreon because I think you're going to laugh. You snickered after you said
I know. Hey kids, it's 2018. Hey everybody, it's 2018. So be like the cool kids and put your money tongues in our Patreon buttholes at patreon.com/BMFcast. This will go in the I Can Never Be President file with 3 cowboys and the big one.
I don't think that's true anymore.
I can never be president with this.
Oh.
I don't have enough money.
All right. Not everyone. That's our weirdness bonus stuff for you.
Thanks for stopping by. Lick our butts.
Metaphorically.
And Literally.
Possibly literally.